Aesop's Fable EP64, The Squirrel and the River Bridge. Scene 1, The River Challenge. In a vibrant forest where the trees stretched high and the animals lived in harmony, there was a clever squirrel named Sammy. Sammy was always full of energy and loved exploring every corner of the forest. One day, after collecting acorns on the far side of the forest, Sammy found himself at the edge of a wide, rushing river. The only way back to his home was to cross the river, but there was no bridge in sight. Sammy knew that he needed to build a bridge to get across, but he wasn't sure how long the bridge needed to be. He had plenty of branches and vines, but if the bridge wasn't long enough, it would fall short, and if it was too long, it would be unstable. Sammy realized that he needed to measure the width of the river to know exactly how long to make the bridge. "I need to figure out the exact length of this bridge," Sammy thought. "But how can I measure the river without getting wet?" Scene 2, Measuring the River. Sammy sat down and began to think. He knew that he needed to find a way to measure the width of the river from one bank to the other. Just then, his friend, Ollie the owl, flew by and landed on a nearby branch. "Hello, Sammy," Ollie called. "What seems to be the problem?" "I need to build a bridge to cross this river, but I'm not sure how long to make it," Sammy explained. "I need to measure the distance across, but I can't fly like you, and I don't want to get wet." Ollie thought for a moment and then suggested, "Why don't you use a long vine to measure the distance? You can tie one end of the vine to this tree on the bank and then stretch it across to the other side. Once you've measured the distance, you can use that length to build your bridge." Sammy liked Ollie's idea. He found a strong, long vine and tied one end to a sturdy tree on his side of the river. Carefully, Sammy stretched the vine across the river, with Ollie's help, until it reached the opposite bank. Sammy then tied the other end of the vine to a tree on the far side. With the vine now stretched tightly across the river, Sammy could see exactly how long the bridge needed to be. He carefully marked the length of the vine and untied it, bringing it back to his side of the river. Scene 3, Building the Bridge. With the measurement in hand, Sammy now knew the exact length of the bridge he needed to build. He gathered the strongest branches and began constructing the bridge, using the vine as a guide for the correct length. As Sammy worked, he made sure that each branch was securely tied together with the vines, creating a sturdy structure. He measured each section carefully to ensure that the bridge would be long enough to reach the other side without being too heavy. After a few hours of hard work, the bridge was complete. Sammy admired his handiwork, feeling confident that it would hold his weight and get him safely across the river. "Thank you, Ollie," Sammy said gratefully. "Your idea really helped me figure out the right length for the bridge." Ollie nodded approvingly. "It was your quick thinking and careful measuring that made this bridge strong and reliable. Now, you'll be able to cross the river safely." Scene 4, The Safe Crossing. With the bridge in place, Sammy took a deep breath and stepped onto it. The bridge was sturdy and held firm as he walked across. As he reached the middle of the river, he paused to look down at the rushing water below, feeling proud of his accomplishment. When Sammy finally reached the other side, he felt a sense of relief and triumph. He had used his math skills to measure the river and build a bridge that was just the right length. Now, he could continue his journey back home with his acorns safely in tow. The other animals in the forest heard about Sammy's bridge and admired his ingenuity. They realized that by measuring distances carefully, they could build and create things that were both useful and safe. As Sammy returned to his cozy tree with his collection of acorns, he knew that he had learned an important lesson about the value of measurement. From that day on, whenever Sammy needed to build something or figure out a distance, he remembered how important it was to measure carefully. Moral of the story: measuring distances accurately helps us build and create things that are safe and reliable. By using math to find the right length, we can solve problems and achieve our goals with confidence.